Which players will be protected? Which will be exposed? Which decisions will give GMs headaches? Our Seattle Expansion Draft Divisional Previews begin with the North teams. The 2020-21 NHL campaign concludes in less than a month, and one of the strangest off-seasons in league history will follow. The flat salary cap of $81.5 million will continue to make teams and free agents behave differently than in the years before the COVID-19 pandemic torched revenues, with pay cuts and short-term deals likely to remain frequent. And, as an enormous extra wrinkle this time, we get the 2021 expansion draft, starring the Seattle Kraken. By now, GM Ron Francis is deep into his roster planning and negotiating side deals with other teams, while 30 NHL franchises, with Vegas Golden Knights sitting out, begin to sweat over their protection schemes. Load era. Which players should we expect each franchise to expose and protect? Which players are most likely to attract the Kraken's tentacles? Our team-by-team expansion draft mini-previews begin with the North Division franchises. First, here's a quick refresher of some particularly important expansion draft rules. Per the NHL, Seattle must choose a minimum of 20 players under contract for the 2021-22 regular season and those with an aggregate expansion draft value that is between 60 to 100% of the prior season's upper limit for the salary cap. Seattle cannot buy out players chosen in the expansion draft earlier than the summer following its first season. Current NHL teams can protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen and 1 goalie, or 8 skaters, forwards, defensemen, and 1 goalie, under the following conditions. All players with no movement clauses at the time of the draft, and who decline to waive those clauses, must be protected and will be counted toward their team's applicable protection limits. All first and second year NHL players, and all unsigned draft choices, will be exempt from selection and will not be counted toward protection limits. In addition, all NHL teams must meet the following minimum requirements regarding players exposed for selection in the draft: games likely pro-rated for a shortened season, one defenseman who is under contract in 2021-22 and B played in at least 40 NHL games the prior season or played in at least 70 NHL games in the prior 2 seasons, 2 forwards who are under contract in 2021-22 and B played at least 40 NHL games the prior season or played in at least 70 NHL games in the prior 2 seasons, 1 goalie who is under contract in 2021-22 or will be a restricted free agent at the end of his current contract immediately prior to 2021-22. If a team elects to make a restricted free agent goalie available to meet this requirement, that goalie must have received his qualifying offer prior to the submission of the team's protected list, Players with potential career-ending injuries who have missed more than the previous 60 consecutive games or who otherwise have been confirmed to have a career-threatening injury may not be used to satisfy a team's player exposure requirements unless approval is received from the NHL. Such players also may be deemed exempt from selection. Help us, Seattle. Projected protected list 7-3-1 F. Mikhail Backlund F. Dylan Dube F. Johnny Gaudreau F. Elias Lindholm F. Andrew Mangiapane F. Sean Monahan F. Matthew Tkachuk D. Rasmus Anderson D. Noah Hannafin D. Chris Tanev G. Jacob Markstrom. Help us, Seattle. F. Josh Archibald F. Tyler Benson F. Leon Draisaitl F. Juja Kera F. Connor McDavid F. Jesse Puljujarvi F. Kala Yamamoto D. Ethan Beard, Darnell Nurst, Caleb Jones G. Mike Smith. Help us, Seattle. F. Josh Anderson F. Brendan Gallagher F. Jake Evans F. Jesperi Kotkaniemi F. Arturi Laakkonen F. Philip Danault F. Tyler Toffoli D. Ben Chiarot D. Joel Edmondson D. Jeff Petrie G. Carey Price. Help us, Seattle. F. Drake Batherson F. Connor Brown F. Logan Brown F. Nick Paul F. Brady Tkachuk F. Austin Watson F. Colin Whitehead, Thomas Chabot D. Victor Meaded, Nikita Zaitsev G. Philip Gustafsson. Help us, Seattle. F. Mitch Marner F. Austin Matthews F. William Nylander F. John Tavares D. TJ Brody D. Justin Holl D. Jake Muzzin D. Morgan Riley G. Jack Campbell. Help us, Seattle. F. Brock Bozer F. Matthew Highmore F. Bo Horvat F. JT Miller F. Tyler Mott F. Tanner Pearson F. Elias Pettersson D. Ollie Juolevi D. Tyler Myers D. Nate Schmidt G. Thatcher Demko. Help us, Seattle. F. Kyle Connor F. Andrew Kopp F. Pierre-Luc Dubois F. Nikolai Ehlers F. Adam Lowry F. Mark Scheifler F. Blake Wheeler D. Dylan DeMello D. Josh Morrissey D. Neil Pionk G. Connor Hellebuck.